Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Nobunaga's Ambition, Taishi, on the Series JG. We just won an upset battle. I don't know if we'll be able to encircle the city with this few troops. What decide to do with what to do with the captives?
You have my thanks.
This castle now belongs to us.
Well, we took Oyoke Castle.
You have my thanks.
So what I need to kind of know now is, are they still... This isn't going to work. They're going to go out there and attack them again. So what I need to do is turn Kawawari Sanada's unit, which has done nothing but besiege castles. They haven't actually had to engage any enemies yet. We'll have them take Omori.
Advance on them.
Because I honestly feel at this point like this unit, which won their victory, but they need to go home.
Let's go back.
They had a good victory, but they've got to head back. And hopefully this means the food will last until we take the last two cities. So yeah, I probably should have sent Kawawari Sanada down here in the first place, but I thought I could do something slick with the Chosakabe that didn't work out. But they certainly have no capacity to resist Kawawari Sanada. They're not even going to try. They'd be outnumbered like 10 to 1 if they did.
Surround them.
Ashina was eliminated by the Uesugi?
Encircle them.
Wait, Ashina? You mean, that's the Mogami. Never mind, I confused them with the Mogami. Ashina were the Date's enemy in my Nobunaga's Ambition LP, but... Yeah, they get wiped. The Date wiped them out, and then Hideyoshi hands those territories over, takes them from the Date and gives them to the Uesugi. Uesugi are not to be messed around with in this game. They're doing pretty good, but I'm rooting for them because they're one of the few things keeping the Oda at bay. And so far, the Chosakabe have not been driven back off of Honshu like they were when I was playing off screen. But then again, I'm a few months behind where I got there. What army do you belong to? Oh, Noshima Castle. You are with the Sogo. And you are going to war with Murakami. It would be interesting to take that territory there, but I think the Mori must be his ally, or else they would have already swallowed him up themselves. Alright. It seems that Ryuzoji and Otomo have made peace. That's probably just as well, because we don't want the Otomo taken out completely. But I have to check. It might be that the Mori have already broken our final quests where we defeat the Otomo, but the quests that involve defeating the Ryokuji are still in play, as well as the Aso quest, which should be coming up very soon, actually. So they're sailing over there so that they don't get in the way of our army. It seems my time's come. I have not the time. Battle lives a long yet short life. Oh.
So I'm not to die.
This guy is also dead.
Will my resolve remain unfulfilled?
Man, we're losing all sorts of
Allow me to
secondary officers here.
Here are last month's results.
So our provisions, they're going away, but we should be able to finish this conquest, and then we'll just have to wait for harvest time before we can march on anyone else. Our infantry pay has gone way up, but it's not matching our commerce income yet, so our trade town income is still more or less covering our development expenses. It'll get harder to cover all this stuff once we have 3 commerce action points. Then it'll really be like we'll be spending quite a bit of money on that every turn. It's more expensive than you sometimes realize. We've got one site, and we can build... Let's assume we want to build a T-town. And actually, that is what we want to build, because it will be touching... No, wait. Yeah, it is. It's touching 2 different cities, so we want a T-town. And, let's come back to that in a minute. See which officers we need to use for something else. And then put the best available officer who's not being used for something else on that task. So it's 70 more, like, these are diminishing. It takes longer and longer for it to pay for itself with every time we upgrade it.
I understand.
Like now I'm talking like spending 1,000 gold to upgrade something that it's only going to be 70 more per level. So it's going to take over a year before this pays for itself, and it gets worse and worse and worse, but still. I don't see the reason not to spend those points upgrading when we have the cash to do it. Son, a pretty good officer for this. And now it'll be time to work on fishing towns. So we're going to have to do some officer shuffling, but I'll wait till we finished off these last 2 hexes, or these last 2 cities here before we do that.
This castle now belongs to us.
Let's decide what to do with the captives. They will not accept employment. We won't execute them either.
You have my thanks.
Yoshihisa's unit can now go home.
Let's go back.
And I'll need to get some officers to be at these cities, if nothing else, so they can build stuff as it is needed. Kôno Sanada's unit never saw combat. They just ate a ton of food and took over some cities.
But we cannot afford to lose.
But the Kôno clan was limited by Shimazu on May 1581. And now all these officers actually can be hired. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So this will be good because we'll actually be able to spread them out and run these territories that used to belong to them. Alright, I'm now yours to command. And Kôno Sanada's unit can disband.
Let us go back.
Suddenly we can start saving food again. So we're going to need all sorts of infantry here because they're going to march north, and eventually I'll have infantry here and here as we finish taking over Kyushu. But we've taken over all of Shikoku that we're going to take over. We will let the Chosakabe eventually deal with the Sogo. It's only because of our marriage alliance that the Chosakabe aren't turning their weapons on us. But, it's like, look, it's like, we were going to form a long-term alliance with either the Mori or the Chosakabe anyway. And by forming one with the Chosakabe, we'll be fighting a stronger enemy than if we teamed up with the Mori. But we'll be able to take over all of Kyushu, which is our clan's main goal. And by forming a peace with the Chosakabe at the time we did, we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 extra cities. And all the development that we can do on this chunk of Kyushu, or Shikoku. So I would say it's a pretty good deal. I'd say things are working out pretty well. Because if we get strong enough to start eating away at the Mori, and we can take over their territory slowly but surely, and the Oda are occupied elsewhere, like they don't gobble up the Mori territory, they could do like what happened with us in the Otomo. Like once we weaken the Otomo, enemies on the other side march in because they don't have troop strength anymore. But as long as these Mori cities are able to defend themselves while we're whittling away things over here, in the long term, By the time we fight the Oda, we'll have a bunch of territory, a lot of resources. And to be honest with you, we don't have the troop counts, but when it comes to things like income, we're already punching above our weight. The Chosakabe have good income as well, actually. I'm surprised that, like, clans like the Uesugi and the Hojo are down below. The Oda have overwhelming income, but we're not doing bad. As far as trade zones go, we've got almost as many as the Mori and the Oda. Fewer fisheries than you would think, right? But what I'm trying to get at here is, like, our balance. We're bringing in more gold a month than most other forces. And the Chosakabe are actually doing really well. I'm surprised at how strong the Chosakabe are. If you look at them just in terms of military, the Chosakabe have more troops than we do. The difference being, of course, they have level 2 militia. Far more militia than we have. But we have the 3rd largest infantry army in the land, and it's level 2. So we should be able to do very well against the Mori. Created officers are making a difference. Some of it, I mean, I'm not terrible. I don't think I'm terrible at this game, but the created officers are making a huge difference for us in winning these battles. My tactics, the Chosakabe's power. I shall take the head of my Masayasu and show it to the world. They're going to war with the Sogo. Okay, good for them. I will definitely help if they ask. Like, if they want to take over those cities for 6 months, I would give it to them. Oh, you would take our side, Lord Yujihisa. I expect great things from your might. But now we're kind of waiting for plot events. I shall unify this land through the force of arms. Now is the time to break the Chosakabe's armies. Unfortunately, this is what I was expecting. The Oda are going to come, at least drive them off of Honshu. I'm hoping they don't start invading Shikoku, because if they do, we'll really have some problems. But we will side with the Chosakabe. And again, now that we've got some troops on their island, maybe we can help them out. But yeah, you can look, even if we join them, they're desperately outnumbered. Oh, you would take our side, expect great things from your might. There is word that Besho will pull out of the fight between Oda and Chosakabe. We must think things over as well. Here's something we've been waiting for. I know Serena Ci will be excited. It seems the Satsuma trade zones under our control have joined hands in becoming a larger trade zone. We could expect even more income from it. So we have our first great trade zone. By the time we take over Kyushu, I'm sure we'll have at least one more. I don't know if we have enough trade zones on Shikoku to get a great trade zone over there. Sogo has gone to war with Besho. Refugees from Oyoke Castle have fled to other lands, but it seems they come back, except for a few.
This is from last month.
So we lost a little bit of money, but our provisions are actually up now from fishing villages. And eventually I need to start working on getting a better musket income, because they were actually behind on that compared to some other clans. Our infantry pay is up, but so is our commerce income, and that'll be going up faster now that we have a great trade zone. So it'll be purely domestic until another plot event happens. This is a great Satsuma trade zone under our control. Investing will increase the scale of all included trade zones. Rich income from it is promising. So it's expensive to invest, but it's giving us a pretty good return.
I understand.
Then we go down to expand all. And we got quite a bit accomplished there. Let's move some officers around before we do anything else. So we have no cities with 0 officers, which is good, because it means there's no cities where we're unable to march troops. But we've got to get some guys over here. And suddenly Sadawara has tons of guys. So let's look and see who is the least happy officers in our force. We should have quite a few really unhappy officers now coming over from that clan that we just took over. Here is a guy who has got some skills to pay the bills. Saionji Retainer, Lord of Iyo Omori Castle, one of the 15 Saionji warriors. He momentarily fled to Tosa, but was unable to return after receiving help from the Tosa Ichijo. But his rebelliousness isn't high. His only real issue right now is that we're his sworn enemy. Once that goes away, he's fine. I'm looking to see who actually has stats that we care about. He's not a terrible officer. It's kind of mediocre, a little above average, I guess. None of our created officers should be down here. What's your deal? You got a fancy helmet. Kôno Retainer became Toyotsuna Utsunomiya's son-in-law, then lord of whatever castle. Rebellious, he frequently fought his brother, Naomasa, and the Kôno army. Oh, he's just going to be a pain in the ass to keep happy no matter what. And then we've got our actual daimyo. So let's get Castle Lord going up here. We'll need good officers up here.
Understood.
So all these guys are probably located in Sadawara. Most of them are, anyway. So I'm basically taking all their old officers who are unhappy and giving them a castle in their old territory in the hopes that they don't all defect.
I do understand.
And then I'll have to give them some extra officers to help out as well. Although, honestly, unless the Mori get hot to trot, the Chosakabe are my allies, and they're the force on this island, so I shouldn't have a lot of need to really station military officers over here for now. It'll get very different if the Oda start coming over, because I'll need to be able to march out to help the Chosakabe. So all those places have 1. Sadawara still has like 14. He's a pretty good officer, actually. So is he. These are like their main military guys here.
Understood.
So this will take a while if I'm trying to do it carefully. I should try to put some decent pole officers over here at some point just to build up those facilities. Oh, well, that's our daimyo. I don't really think I want him over there.
Understood.
So I promise things are going to get exciting again fairly soon because we're going to have plot events. I was trying to make sure we weren't idle while waiting for these plot events so that we could actually get something useful taken care of. But we'll have plot events coming up, which means we'll be right back to war very soon. things aren't really going to slow down until we get involved in a long slog against the Mori, where we're going to need periods of peace to let the let the townspeople kind of calm down. We don't want to be in constant war. So all those cities now have 2 officers each. We still have like 7 officers at Sadawara. So I could definitely spread around to places like this. Although I don't know if there's any point. Just because if we ever have to march out of there, I suppose, but I don't want to even send out particularly great officers from here either.
Understood.
Actually, if we do this, 1 more officer of low quality to help reinforce one of these back cities. He's not even that low quality, actually. And they've only got 5 officers there, so it's not like they're that much... Yeah, they're not like that much bigger than anywhere else now. So I think that's good. Now, I did my commerce already. Now it's time for development. And we've got new places to build. And we can actually get more stuff going on here. So we've got the Bloody Handed.
Understood.
Working on Leadership LU, Leadership University. Vulture Bobo, always the one in charge of CU, Combat University. Lethal and Tactics University. Earl King, the King of Diplomacy, apparently. Now I'll just look for trading towns that can be improved. Here's a trading town. This must be the trading town that we had already built over there. Oh, we've got a drill ground for once, because we took it over. Probably will replace that eventually with something else. Yeah, Ninja Village. These are things that I've inherited from someone else because I never build them myself. Oh, more trading towns can be built. Yes, please. Oh, that's like the best place ever for a fishing village. I think I'll build a trading town there anyway, actually.
Understood.
We can build a fishing town over here. In the middle of the land, sure. Now, what stuff do they build that I don't care about at all? It's a trading town. I want to keep that. Built a fortress and a ninja village. I guess I'll leave it for the time being. Wait for some historical events to take place here. Oda's Mitsuhide Akechi army and Chosakabe's Motochika Chosakabe army are in battle at Shobata, and I don't like their chances. With Mitsuhide taking the field personally, Oda has defeated Chosakabe. Well, Mitsuhide is reliable. You can count on him to do his best for Nobunaga, always, forever. Lord Yoshihisa, it appears a flood has occurred because of the typhoon. Lord Yoshihisa, the typhoon caused floods to Kôno Castle and 14 others, but by our clan's policy, the damage has been minimized. There's been absolutely no damage to our facility from the typhoon due to our clan's policy. Oh, nice. 30 districts, including Yatsuhiro, were able to prevent damage from a flood thanks to their reservoir.
I'm going to report.
I'm going to report whether you like it or not.
This is from last month.
Oh, I missed something about the Chosakabe that I probably should have read. So provisions are going up. That's entirely thanks to fishing income. So you can see... Well, wait, it can't all be fishing income. It's... went up... Never mind, it did. 2,200 from fishing income. We're getting little bits of trickling in muskets and ranches, and the main thing, though, is our infantry pay, as high as it is, and we're going to need it to go even higher, but it's still outstripped by our commerce income, thanks in part to a grand trade zone.
Let us begin the council. I'd like to hear everyone's thoughts.
Ooh, Kiyoyoshi Doi is eager to prove his worth to his new clan, and he's glowing with power. I'd like to think that he and the Bloody Handed are now like buddies, because Bloody Handed's whole backstory is that he was defeated by the Shimazu and decided to join them, but I guess we'll see. Investment costs down, yes please. Unit morale up. Don't care about that right this moment. 39 commerce, yes please. And I think overall this is the best policy we got left.
I agree. Let us end this council.
I have a plan.
Oh, he's even got a new policy. Agricultural power up. Cyrio record. Increases effect of soil care and fertilizer. Agricultural policies are easier to enact. Oh, I definitely like that. Messengers from the Imperial Court visit more often. We'll start getting Imperial Court messengers when we have a lot of money. Imperial maneuver has been added. I have invented a maneuver. So, investing master. Yep. Although we have to wait for somebody to suggest. I guess we gotta wait for somebody to suggest it, because this didn't unlock the next thing. Meanwhile, over here, this, what's this farming policy that... Oh, we don't have enough rhetoric for that. I definitely want it, though. Seize provision damage. Advanced suggest probability up. That's a good one. We do need to get down here eventually. I want versus muskets defense up, because we were having some problems. We almost didn't win when we were outnumbered 3-1 because of enemies having muskets. Fertilizers up. How expensive is this? No, that's not the one I'm talking about. This is going to require agriculture and rhetoric. Let's not spend any agriculture right now. And I'm waiting for Commerce 2 to get recommended, so I don't want to spend Commerce points either. I don't know what our aggression is right now, but that's okay. So we're going to continue to monopolize the special trade zone. Yeah, not worried about that. So again, this is like 814, but it increases our trade zone by 508, so it will pay for itself in like 2 months.
I understand.
And we still have room to expand into one more zone, because we have 2 action points. Trading towns can be improved, but we're running short on officers who are able to do it. I saw something that indicates one of our university that wasn't already improving can be improved. Okay. Fortress. Ninja Village Drill Ground. I just don't take advantage of them, really. They're only useful to you when you're doing a specific battle. And even these post T-Town, Post Town, even these post towns, I'm like, should I redo these? Population rises 34 per level. Because T-Towns do max popularity. I think it might be time to get rid of the post towns too, and put in T-Towns instead. Well, now we can put trading towns in, or at least one of the places that had something else. Well, exactly one of them. Then there's fishing town that can be put in where... Yeah, I think those... That makes sense, because we got rid of fortresses and stuff over here.
Understood.
Now we're down to just building T-Towns, and there's 6 places we can do it. Although, actually, T-Towns don't do that much here. It's only improving that one town. I've been obsessed with the idea of putting T-Towns places where they're touching more than one town. Which I think is what we'll find over here, where I got rid of these... Well, no, it's not really there. Here we'd want one, because it's going to affect 2 towns.
I do understand.
So other places it would only be 1. So I could replace it with probably forges.
Understood.
Eventually I start improving the forges. We're going to get some really high musket income, but for right now I'm keeping them all at level 1. Letting our gold build up. And letting the video run long too, it seems like. Alright guys. Gonna call it a video. When we come back next time, all sorts of exciting fun things, I guess. Assuming we can get that historical event we need to advance the story. Catch you guys next time.